Right, so a couple of changes. I've now just decided to attempt a manual flight again. This time I've improved my control. So what I have here is a remote control, a proper flight remote control, and I've got here's a radio receiver which is connected to the Arduino digital input pin, so then I'm reading the pulses that are coming from each of the channels and interpreting those pulses and converting them into appropriate pitch and roll and throttle values, which then get translated by the Arduino using the code I've written into different power values for each of the rotors. So that's what happens. So basically now on the control, this becomes a throttle up, throttle down. This becomes roll, and this becomes pitch. And that's pretty much it. So I'm now going to try and fly this thing manually using real-time control. Before I was using this infrared remote, which wasn't great because it's okay for testing and things like that. I still need to use the remote. I still need to initialize. I still need to hit this button to initialize and this to get the rotors going, and then I can switch to this remote for actual control. Although my power supply earlier just told me that it was overloaded, but it seems to be okay for the moment. Some 900 watt power supply, apparently it's supposed to give out 36 amps of power, which is adequate for this. So, well, actually no, it's a bit less. This requires about 40 amps. So, alright. Minimum throttle, let's get the rotors going. Okay. So now I can do pitch forward, pitch backwards. You can see that from there. Now I think because one of the motors I have is different than all the other three, that's proving to be a problem, because this hasn't got as much. That's an 8 amp motor, and these three are 10 amp motors. So I'm either going to have to compensate in software or change that motor so the same as the other three. But you can see that if I just increase the power without, yeah, it seems to want to go that way, and so that you're letting the side down. Right. Let's try and compensate myself manually. Yeah. It's very, very difficult to fly manually. Whoa, okay. Let's just shut down and reset, shall we? The thing that's the tricky part is to know which way is forward, backward, and left and right. So I've got the quad facing so that motor's that way, the blue motor's that way. So I know that, that's, pitching forward, that's pitching backward and left and right. So, so I can just sort of visualize it in my head. You can see how it's quite responsive though. I mean, if I just do that, And if I pitch forward, see that one hasn't got enough to lift it. See, look at that. It's not. That's full throttle. Maybe that's where the gyro is going wrong. But the others, yeah. And this one, yeah. I mean, they're quite powerful. So maybe I'll change the propeller for. Just want to get you to hover, that's all. Is that too much to ask? Yeah. A little bit of overcompensation on my part. Reinitialize. Although it's challenging, it is a remarkable amount of fun. You know, I think I'm going to try a different propeller on that side. I think that one's letting it down.